quick note. I'm about to go to bed here. Just making a quick note to self, and that is that you have a lot of talk. And who knows what the future holds? Nobody knows what the future holds. Okay. In the past, people thought nuclear weapons, things of that nature, were the future, and then there was makeup. People are putting radioactive makeup on their skin. You can look this up. We thought things were futuristic, but it actually turned out that some of those things, they didn't benefit our future as much as we thought they would. The reason I say this, there's some very fascinating things out there going on that, people get all think it's, some futuristic thing, but you never really know. Because nobody knows the future. I mean, you could think that, like, what is it, like a coronal mass ejection or a solar flare, whatever the hell it's called, could basically wipe out. I saw this thing in History Channel years ago, and it was like, this thing could basically wipe out the technology or have some huge impact on technology in our planet. So it's always good to have that organic, down-to-earth backup system, if that makes sense. That's why we have seed banks, things like that. But anyway, I have to think about religion, though, because, I've always been an adherent or a student of, I like philosophy, and I like to study things like comparative religion because it kind of goes hand in hand with philosophy, with mind, consciousness, experience. Anyway, and some people think, as we evolve certain modes of intelligence further, that's going to impede organic spirituality or religion in some way, and those religions evolved along with us. And so it's kind of like, when I sit there and think about that, it's okay if people are letting things go on their own, meaning you have people that evolve and sit there and say, well, I don't want to be religious anymore or affiliate myself with any religious or spiritual practice. That's acceptable. But you can't just have some system come in and obliterate spirituality and religion from the face of the planet and then replace it with something else, because kind of like our minds have evolved with that stuff. Those stories, those archetypes, those myths, those legends, those, theistic, atheistic, non-theistic, however you relate to it, it doesn't matter. They've inspired a huge part of human history, and they still do. If you look at archetypes, some of the ones from the past, we take, the archetype of Aphrodite or Venus or Mary or Isis or Hathor, or Bridget or Sekhmet or just, whoever. Morgan. Anyway, the point is that, and we take these things and then we now we have Wonder Woman and, whatever the hell else is people that watch Marvel are into. I don't really get into comic book stuff, but just a thought. We see these things evolving into our modern version of superheroes, and we idolize these things and we think these things. We had that rocket recently. What was it called? Artemis or something, which is, one of the moon goddesses, Artemis, Selene, Lilith. Anyway, the point is that one of the things related to divine and feminine. The point is that we can't just obliterate, let's say, old world religion and replace it with some new world order, some new world religion, some new whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't want to be misinterpreted with saying certain terms. So I don't think if I use certain terms that it's going to, I don't believe in all that NWO paranoia crap, that conspiracy theory stuff. But so forgive me on that. I just say that because if you're on social media, there's just a lot of stuff you have to kind of not pay attention to, just browse. Anyway, the point is this: be careful what you click on. I think a lot of people look at conspiracy stuff, they go down the paranoia route and just kind of destroys their mind, like fear mongering. So really be careful with that. The point is that with religion, if somebody were raised in it and you thought it was going to evolve, you were some higher entity, let's say, and you were watching people evolve, people have to naturally evolve away from stuff. To force it would cause probably some sort of disturbance within the unconscious or subconscious mind or in the psyche, and that could actually cause more violence in society. To have a natural step away from something is like a drug addict or somebody that steps away from the substance they're abusing because they realize they don't need it anymore, and they grow up and they go off and be sober, and they make their life after that, and they find out they're happier. So with religion, we have to understand it's one of those things that if we evolve away from it in the future, I think it's going to be a gradual thing where we evolve, and then let's say you have 10% of the children on the planet are taught 1 year or 1 decade or however long to not be religious, and it's not in some forceful way. They're just taught that, let's say their parents suggest other things. The next year, 15%, the next year, 20%, and see, that's how it would go in a pattern. And then eventually to have more people on the planet that are not being religious. But currently we have, religion spreading like wildfire and growing at an exponential rate. But it's just, it's just a thought. You can't force somebody to not be religious, basically. It's like people have to either, pick stuff up or put things down when they want to. They have free will. So, anyway, it's just a thought I had. Anyway, so I gotta go to sleep.